All right, and then Susie, I am giving you the controls.
All right.
See, I don't see your name though.
Let's see, where is
Are you
Susie?
listed as John Jelinek again?
I might be.
There it is. I found it.
Found you. I changed my name, but nope, you're good. You are good.
Let's see.
All right.
Great to see.
People
Keep joining, and then
it moves.
It moves, Susie. I can't right now. No.
That is hilarious.
Oh, it's driving me crazy.
When he starts to go to give you control, another person joins and then it moves. Okay. Okay, we got it.
You got the power.
Perfect. All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to talk to you tonight a little about our 10X training. And tonight we're going to talk about our belief lids and visualization. So get your seatbelt ready. We're in for a ride tonight. And I'm so excited to be joined by Leslie Powell. She's going to wrap it up tonight about our 10X training. But last week, so we're on week 2 of 10X. And I just want to give a shout out to those of you who commented and turned in your homework in the 1% Big Difference Facebook group. Remember, again, it's guide 4. So if you are not quite sure where to post it, haven't posted it yet, please do so. It's not too late. Go into guide 4 in the 1% Big Difference Facebook group, post your homework, comment it below. So super proud of everybody who has done that up to now. I know that it is something that is a vulnerable thing, right? Where it's hard to share this sometimes, but we're all family and we're in this together. So again, super proud of everybody that's done that. Also, I just want to welcome everybody that's new to the Zoom this week, everybody that's new to the team. Welcome, welcome. This is our 1% Big Difference, big meeting, Monday night meeting. And so we love seeing new faces here. But without further ado, we're going to get started. I'm going to share my screen. And too, Susie, if I can interrupt real quick, we don't have control anymore, you guys. So if you can do us a huge favor and just mute your lines, that would be really helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, so like I mentioned, that Leslie is going to wrap up the Zoom tonight. But what I want to talk to you guys tonight about is the belief lid, our belief lids. And last Monday, during our Monday night meeting, we talked about how we're going to be highlighting 3 different lids. And the first one is our belief lid. The second one is our operational effectiveness lid. And the third one is our leadership lid. So our homework last week was based upon those 3 lids. And this week, it encompasses kind of a belief series. And so in this belief series, during the next few weeks, you can expect to work on your goals and how to find and attract mentors as a part of this belief lid. So let's talk a little bit more about our belief lid. And then I'm going to play a short 5-minute video on visualization. But our belief, you guys, when someone tells you that it can't be done, it's more, excuse me, this is a quote, so I have to read it word for word. But when someone tells you that it can't be done, it's more of a reflection of their limitations, not yours. I'm going to read that one more time. When someone tells you that it can't be done, it's more of a reflection of their limitations and not yours. And that's from a quote by Lori Grenier, and she is an investor on the reality show, TV show, The Shark Tank. Some of you recognize that name. But as far as our belief, it's important to know that all of your thoughts, your actions, and engagements follow your belief. And the higher you believe, the higher you achieve. So remember, if you have a low belief lid, you'll have low energy, you'll put minimal thought into things that you're seeking to accomplish. But conversely, if you have a high belief lid, your energy, your thinking, and your awareness will all follow the height of your belief. So the higher you believe in what you want to accomplish, the more you stretch your belief about what you can achieve. And the more your activities and actions will support that belief. Also, how do you begin elevating your belief lid, right? How do we start to think bigger? How do we lift up the top of that lid? And it all starts with thinking big thinking. So big that others around you think you're crazy, right? Who around you kind of maybe thinks you're a little nuts for what you're doing, right? We all have that craziness about us, but if that's what we need to persevere and get done what we need to get done and to reach our goals, we need to be a little crazy, right? So stretch your belief. And I have to tell you, I've never felt so stretched in my life with this homework, with just growing myself to grow my business. But believe in all the possibilities, you guys. There are many people out there who demonstrate the power of thinking and believing bigger and better. So look to them for examples of success. And it makes me think of Earl Nightingale. So if you're in the performance club, this is a reason to get to the performance club, you guys. Two enrollments with at least 100 in PV will get you into the performance club. And every month we have a separate Telegram group, and every month Michelle Powell posts Earl Nightingale's 19 minutes to change your life in 19 minutes, the secret to success. And Earl, in that 19 minutes, talks about the key to success lies in a human's mind, the gold mine between his ears. And so I have to share a little story, and I'm going to stop my share with the view there, but I'm going to share a little story about my son, Micah. So Micah is 12 years old, and he is a participant in a ninja gym. So if you've watched the show American Ninja Warrior, you kind of know a little bit about what ninja athletes do. And so this gym is really close to home. It's so awesome. He loves to go every day, and he's been able to level up to a couple different classes, and now he's in a skilled ninja class. And there's this move called the lache in ninja, and it's like swinging from monkey bars. But these monkey bars were actually rings that he was swinging 6 feet apart. He's like, Mom, I have never done this before. I've only done 5 feet apart rings. I've only swung from rings that are about 5 feet apart. I've never done rings that are 6 feet apart. And so he said, come into the gym, Mom, I want you to watch me. I want you to video me trying to get these rings. And so he started, and it was probably about 6 or 7 times that he couldn't reach these rings. And he was swinging and swinging and swinging. But he's like, Mom, I know I can do it. I came in with the mindset that I knew I was going to do it. I believe that I can do it, and I'm going to do it. So he kept on doing it. And finally, after that 6th try, he reached that 6-foot lache and he nailed it. And man, that was such a proud mama moment. I love watching him do that, but his goal is to be on American Ninja Warrior someday soon. So watch for Mr. Micah Benjamin on American Ninja Warrior Junior. But that's such, kids are so resilient, right? And they teach us so much about how if we can just harness that gold mine in between our ears and really think we can do it, we can do it. So that's our belief lid, right? Raising that belief lid, knowing that we can do those things that we think about. Earl Nightingale also talks a little bit about our attitude and beginning to act now about the person we want to become. And we'll discuss a little bit more about this when we get into finding and attracting mentors in this belief series. But just a reminder, with all of this, you guys, remember not to be in too big of a hurry. And I was just listening to Earl talk about how it takes longer to build a skyscraper than a chicken coop, right? So give yourself grace when you're doing this homework. Do your best. Know that you can go back and add things to your belief or your homework, and you can add things as you think of it. I had to learn that. I tend to be a perfectionist, and so I've had to learn that I definitely need to give myself grace and go back and work a little bit more on this as I can. But now what I'm going to do is play a visualization video for you guys, and then I will share one more thing. We'll turn it over to Leslie.
Hey, Susie, I'm going to mute everybody real quick,
okay,
and then I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay.
Okay, we should be good now. You'll have to unmute though. You'll have to unmute, Susie.
Susie, we still can't hear you, gorgeous. You'll have to turn your screen all the way up or your sound on the computer.
It is the power behind
There we go. Perfect.
Success.
You can start it
By
over.
visualizing a certain object.
Sorry about that, you guys. Here we go.
What is visualization? Visualization is defined as a mental technique that uses the imagination to make dreams and goals come true. It demonstrates the power of the mind. It is the power behind every success. By visualizing a certain object, event, or situation, you essentially attract it into your life. How does this play into our concept of belief? Your belief lid is established today based on your own level of success in your own environment and with the people you've surrounded yourself with. Breaking through your current level of belief and developing your awareness around your current belief structure can be a significant challenge, but it is very possible. This is where the power of visualization and manifestation play a key role. The questions you should be asking yourself at this very moment are, how do I elevate my belief? What's inhibiting my ability to think and believe bigger than I currently do today? What resources and tools do I need to embrace in order to help me do this? Let's revisit the saying. What you think is what you say. What you say is what you do. And what you do ultimately becomes your legacy. What begins the saying? Thinking. You control your thoughts and how you frame your thinking. What kinds of things are you thinking about? Because the things you're thinking about are the things that you're talking about. And the things you're talking about are the things that you're doing. And the things that you're doing are leading you down a path. The journey down that path is how you will be remembered. If you're not happy with your current path, here's the great news. You can change direction. You can evolve your journey. It all begins with the things you're thinking about. So what are you feeding your mind? What are you reading? Who are you listening to? What are they saying? What are they concentrating on? What are you spending your time and energy on? Ultimately, these are the elements you will dwell on and talk about. Therefore, in order to change your thinking from where it is today to what you'd like to accomplish tomorrow, start with visualization. Let's bring this into context through some real-life experiences. Have you ever driven home from work and once you arrive, realize you can't remember how you got there? Maybe you even forgot the two things you were supposed to stop and get on the way home. Let's say you were supposed to pick up the dry cleaning or stop and pick dinner up. And yet, there you are, sitting in your driveway with no dry cleaning and no dinner. This is the relationship between your conscious and subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind knows where it's going, similar to an airplane on autopilot. If you aren't consciously aware, your subconscious mind will simply do what it knows how to do, like driving the same route home from work each day. You have to consciously instruct your subconscious to direct it towards the things you want to be thinking and doing in your life. This breaks the autopilot cycle and provides the path for elevating your belief lid, which ultimately allows you to manifest the exact success you want to achieve in life. If you want to change the cycle of being on autopilot, you need to be asking yourself two things. First, what's inhibiting me from thinking bigger than I currently do today? And the second is, what tools and resources do I need to embrace in order to help break the cycle? Visualization is a vital component of manifesting any goal. Interestingly enough, science has demonstrated that your brain can't tell the difference between a visualized image and reality. In fact, in a Harvard study about visualization, two groups of people were given a simple 5-fingered melody to learn to play on a piano. One group physically practiced the melody for 2 hours a day for 5 days. The other group merely visualized the melody. As you can probably guess, the neurological wiring that developed was almost identical between the two groups. So let's raise your belief through the power of visualization. Remember that your current belief lid is established by your level of success within the environment and the people you surround yourself with each day. In order to break through the current level of your belief and elevate your lid, you have to challenge yourself to think and believe differently. Think like a 10x employee.
In this activity, you'll begin the process of programming your mind to think differently. If you want to change the cycle of being on autopilot, you need to ask yourself two things. What's in the way of me thinking bigger today? And what tools and resources do I need to embrace helping me break that cycle? Document the top 5 things you're thinking about on a weekly basis. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you concentrating on and digesting into your mind? After you've listed these items, rank them as either a positive or a negative influence to what you're ultimately saying and doing.
All right, you guys, so that is the visualization homework that we have for this week. So that will be uploaded into our group guide 4 in the One Person Big Difference Facebook group right after this Zoom is over. So the next thing that I want to share with you is, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here. And I want to share with you a video. See if I can play this here. And this is a video of my vision board for 2021. And I thought this was so powerful because it was something that I had, made right away in January, the beginning of 2021. But it was something that I knew that I wanted, right? It was a goal that I was working for, a goal that my husband and I were working for. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen, and I wanted to be really specific about it. So check it out. There's Wanderlust 2021. And I knew that I wanted Al and I to be there together in, at the time it was September, but I'm gonna play that one more time. But now, the corporate moved it to August. And so I knew that just by thinking and really getting specific on that goal to get to Cabo, I knew it was going to happen. Again, I didn't know exactly how it was going to happen, and there was a lot of doubts. It was a roller coaster period at one point, but now I'm just so happy to say that we did earn that trip to Cabo, and we'll be going there in August with a lot of other amazing people too. So just so grateful for that visualization process. So next, Mrs. Leslie Powell, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you're going to share with us a little bit more about your take on visualization. So take it away, sister.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? So, I was going back through and looking through at some of my notes on visualization, and 3 things stood out to me. I'm going to wrap up with what Susie said about belief. And they say belief is energy, belief is tied to your impact, and your belief lid is tied to big thinking. When you start to think about visualization and big thinking, you want people to think you're literally crazy. You want the people that have come up with the most amazing things throughout our life and technology has been people that we literally thought were crazy. So even what Dr. Joe McCord has done here with this company and NRF2, it was years and years in the making, but he was really thinking big at that time. And look, we're all here and under that umbrella of that big thinking. So that in and of itself is just a miracle. So again, how do you elevate your belief? You have to visualize it. And the best part that I love about visualizing is that if you're not happy with the path that you're on, all you have to do is change your way of thinking. It can happen just like that. And for me, that's so powerful to know that I can put my hands on a tool and flip a switch literally just by changing the way I think. So for me, what I can say is that for me, negativity has been a big buzzkill in my life. I have a mantra that says if it steals my peace and it brings me negativity, it costs me too much. And so that has to go. So I started working on my mindset about a year ago with this. And I started being more looking at more at what I was allowing in. So that was really affecting my thinking. So I decided that I was going to put up strict boundaries in my life as to what I allowed in. And that included the news, that included what I listened to, that included the people that I was around. And I will even go as far to tell you this. If you have family members that steal your peace, just because they're your family doesn't mean that you have to envelop that. You have to be around people who fill you up. So learn to set those boundaries and get the negative out of the way, because as long as you're feeding negative in, you're never going to have a positive life with negative thinking. We all know that. So the other thing that I wrote down is What is keeping you from thinking bigger? A lot of us worry what other people think. We may have fear. There may be complacency. We may just be doing things out of habit, and we may not be aware of how to elevate, how to think bigger. So those are questions we need to ask ourselves and look and see how we can kind of tweak that in our lives. What tools and resources do I need to break those cycles? You may need help, and we're going to get into this, and we're going to be talking about mentors and those types of things. So you need to be looking at who you're surrounding yourself with, who can help you break those cycles. And I love where she said that your brain doesn't know the difference between a visualized image and reality. If anybody has ever watched The Secret, they talk about this instance where if you're running a race, that there were people that visualized running the race, and there were people that actually ran the race, and they really couldn't tell the difference between it, that the same muscles fired and the wiring was in the brain. So really what you're thinking about and what you're believing is really going to have a huge impact on your mind. And I'm going to default back to Earl Nightingale as well. I have had The Secret to Success on blast on my playlist. I have the little bit longer version than we share in Performance Club, but I've been listening to it every morning as I get ready. And Earl Nightingale has a few pointers that I wanted to bring out in that. We become what we think about. And Ralph Waldo Emerson says, a man is what he thinks about all day long. And even in Mark 9:23, it says, everything is possible to one who believes. I love this too. George Bernard Shaw says, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get ahead in this world are the people who look for the circumstances they want. And if they cannot find them, they create them. So, part of that being able to create those circumstances is being able to tap into your mind and decide and be able to visualize exactly what it is that you want. And when you're trying to visualize what you want, you have to be very, very specific. So, and what I wrote was that you have to learn to put yourself into situations as if they have already happened, and learn to visualize those moments. And and Michelle talks about these things, how do you feel? What do you see? Who is there? Where are you? What smells are involved? If you're driving a car, there may be that new car smell. You may smell the gasoline coming out of the exhaust pipes. You may feel the hum of the car in between your hands. You've got to put yourself all the way fast forward to the end before you can even get to the point where you're going to be able to immerse yourself in that situation. So a few more things. Stop thinking about what you fear. Each time you have a negative thought, you have to replace it with a positive thought, okay? You have a new name, Sean? And then I kind of wrote this down, that belief equals faith, and faith is another word for persistence. So I never really connected those three, but when I heard that today, I was like, oh my gosh, faith to me sounds so difficult. It seems like something that I can't tap into, but persistence is something that I know because I never, ever give up. And so if that's something that you can relate to, I thought that was kind of cool. You also need to act as though it is impossible to fail. So I'm going to give you, I have one more verse. I love this one. Matthew 7:7-8. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone that asks receives, and the one who seeks will find, and the one who knocks, the door will be open to you. So we have 2 homework assignments for you guys this week. There's the assigned uploaded work, which Susie is going to upload. And as you've seen, I also want you guys to take time this week and create a vision board, just like Susie did in her. So make some time for that. We'll make a post where you can post those. And I've got one more verse, and then I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then we're going to let you guys go. Habakkuk 2:2-3 says, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so that he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits at its appointed time. It hastens to the end, it will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it shall surely come, and it will not delay. And I love that so much when it comes to vision boards, because basically it's all laid out there in black and white. You have to just write it down, make it to where you can see it, and know that it's going to come at that appointed time. But you need to be visualizing it in the process. So I'm going to give you guys a little thing that I did. So when I was driving to Georgia last week, I was going to see my parents, and we had been working through some of this. We're quite a few weeks ahead of you guys, but I was watching The Secret on the way down. And for me, it's been a very hard thing to grasp because I struggle between this word manifestation and spirituality. So I was kind of driving down the road and I was like, okay, he was talking about a car and putting your hands around the steering wheel. And I was like, okay, what kind of car would I want? And I was like, I'm going to really do this. I want to just see. I don't really want to say that I was testing God, but I needed God to prove to me that this was real. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to think about this. So, all right, I really want to see a Range Rover. And I was like, but it has to be a white Range Rover. And I was kind of driving along and I got into Georgia and this green Range Rover comes up behind me in my rear view mirror. And I was like, oh my God, there's a Range Rover. And I was like, but it's not white. It's not white. And I kept going. And as I was thinking about this and I kept visualizing it and what it would look like going on the road, I was like, okay, so maybe I'll see I was negotiating with myself and I was like, I'll see a Range Rover by the time I get home. I was like, no. It says I have to be specific. So I was like, I'm going to see a Range Rover on the road, a white one, before I get to my parents' house. I was driving along, silver came by. Driving along, other side of the road, cream came by. I was like, oh, we're getting closer. I was at the turn at the McDonald's right before I turned to my parents' house. I was like, I'm almost there. I was like, I don't know, is this going to happen? And there it came. It drove by. I was like, there it is. I had to know that I was going to see it before I got to my parents' house, and I made the time specific. And when I did that, like, I was just so excited to know that I had thought about it that hard and I had really focused on it and I had been specific and I had been specific about color and about time. And there it was. And it was just so close to my parents' house. I was like, wow. It was like God said to me, you're way underestimating what is available to you, way underestimating. And I was like, this is just so powerful. Like, everyone needs to know about the power of visualization and they really need to put it into work in their life. So this week, my challenge to you guys is to get really raw. I don't care if you get a magazine. I've already started my vision board and I started putting it in Messenger to myself. I'm just going to print the pictures that I want right off Google. I'm going to find all the things that I want. I'm even planning on going to Facebook and printing out my dream team. I'm putting their pictures on my vision board of the people that I want on my dream team in this business with me, even if they're somewhere else, even if they're in another company. I'm going to put them on there and I want to put a corner for my dream team. So I challenge you guys to do that this week. Okay, I guess we got to wrap up.
Yes, excuse me. And we have some announcements. So don't wait just a few minutes longer. We're going to share some announcements with you for this week. Go to the next slide here. Sorry about that. There we go. So on Tuesday, tomorrow night, July 27th, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central, we have Daisy Goodwin, Elite Pro 9, that's doing the Flip the Switch opportunity meeting. So check that out. Invite to that. Thursday this week, which is July 29th, we have Michael Epstein, and he is presenting on our team opportunity meeting on Thursday, 8:30 Central. We have Success Mastery coming up this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central. We have Gloria Waterhouse presenting, Melissa Kovics and Shauna Mucklow on that Zoom. And then don't forget, if you haven't registered for our global convention yet, virtual or live, please do so. Early bird pricing ends this Saturday, so it's really important to note, and that is October 7th through the 9th. And remember, if you have just purchased, if you're new to our company, you've just purchased a platinum pack, you have a free ticket to go to that convention. So sign up for that. And that is the platinum pack right there. That is $999, almost 50% off until July 31st as well. So make sure that you are sharing this with everybody. That is an amazing deal. And after this call right away, in just a minute or so, we are going to stick around. If you want to discuss homework from the last week's Zoom, or even from this week, please stick around. We can talk and chat. And that for me is so valuable, you guys. I actually have our small team Zoom that I have to hop off to lead. However, stick around if you want to talk about it. I think that it helps so much to hear other people's stories, just like we heard tonight. So that is all we have for you. Thank you so much for your time tonight, and believe in yourself, raise that belief lid, and let's do this. 10X, everybody.
Yes, here we go. This is what 10X, guys, I hear. Woohoo!
Yes.
Oh, like that. Okay.
She's Wonder Woman.
I'm Wonder Woman. Yes, I am. Well, let's give Leslie and Susie a huge round of applause. That was absolutely amazing. The stories, the vulnerability, the truths that were all shared, you guys. Is this not valuable these last 2 weeks already? Anybody feel a little vulnerable doing last week's life work of really reflecting and digging in and posting that as well? I know we are doing it just along with you guys, and it's a daily thing, honestly, that I'm looking at every single day that we're doing this. And so we're going to just discuss it. And if anybody wants to, we find that this has been really valuable to us, to be opening up conversation. What people found was, anybody that had questions or just, things that maybe they found out with themselves of some aha moments. Or what else, Sean, for you?
That was it. That is what we did.
So we would love to hear any questions or just things that came across you while doing that this past week. We'll open it up.
I'll go.
Awesome.
So for me, belief in the industry is not a question because I've had great success, and the company, every video I watch, the more I love LifeVantage, and I just love it. And now I'm finding myself be like, okay, it's not for you. Great. No problem. And I just don't care anymore. But what I realized last week doing homework is that it's belief in myself. And I've just had a few things happen in life that just kind of punched me in the gut a little bit. And, I internalized it and made it be about me. And what I realize is that's just what I've let it do, but that can also be the reason why I need to build it. So, I think we all have life, like life is real, right? And it's just a matter of what story you're telling. And I realized that I've been telling the other stories, like those stories have become true because I talk about them. And so what I realized is that I need to talk about all my wins that I've had in network marketing, not the hard things. So, yep.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for sharing.
The wins, yes.
I'll go.
Thank you, Mia. Yes.
Whether you're a musician, whether you're an athlete, dancer, whatever, I look at these people. I look at Simone Biles, who I'm in complete awe of. And I just look at what she has done in her life and what she has accomplished. And she just does not accept anything than the very best. And we may not all be a Simone Biles, but there is that quality within each one of us to be the best that we can be. And are we really asking that of ourselves, to really challenge ourselves, to discipline ourselves, to get what we want out of life? How big are we thinking? And so, doing that exercise, I still don't understand all of the aspects of the lids, but I know that I'm going to be in a different place at the end of all of these weeks than I am right now. And I just challenge myself. What I love about this is we're all together challenging ourselves to be the best, to get what we want out of this whole journey. So I love that we're united in this because you feel the power of it.
Nice.
Amazing. Thank you, Mia. Agreed.
And then we had a question. Shannon was asking about, she's having a hard time understanding the operational effectiveness lid and the questions there. So really these questions are designed to ask, like, what is your confidence level in each one of these series of questions? So like the first one, define. So are you able to define your opportunity for professional and financial growth over the next 3 to 5 years? And some people are really good at this, at forecasting out, what is your 3-year goals? What is your 5-year goals? Have you really sat down and evaluated that? So if you haven't, you'd probably be on the lower end of that 1 to 10. If you have taken maybe a little bit of time, but you don't really reflect on it, you don't think about it very often, maybe you're in that middle spectrum. But if you're on it and you're focused and you're thinking about this and readjusting it constantly, and it's at the forefront of everything that you do, then it's probably a 10. gain positive attention and use it to contribute to the business goals in order to enhance my career. This one I agree is probably weirdly worded. But what this is saying to me is that the things that you do and the actions that you have are done in a positive manner. Do you ever know people that negative attention to them is better than no attention? So they do things to disrupt the organization. They do things to disrupt other people's lives. So I think that's what they mean about gain positive attention and then use that positive attention to contribute to the overall goals of the business. So does that help a little bit, Shannon?
And everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's just kind of is a weird way to like all those things, and I'm trying to figure out between my current job versus what it is with LV, and I'm just like, because I mean, I do well. I do fine in my current job, and I'm like, but then like LV, it's like, you know, so I just it's just kind of confusing on how.
Yeah, and I would definitely utilize these in the various aspects of your life. If you have multiple jobs, you know, maybe one of them you're really, really good at that operational effectiveness because you're the expert in your area there. And then when you compare it to LV, you haven't had that same experience or that same time to go up that growth curve like you have in other areas. So, you know, definitely use these in other aspects of your life as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I share?
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, like the operational one, defining, I kind of took it as defining for me how I'm doing now, how I'm taking action, what my goals will be in 3 to 5 years. And so what I need to change to get it to 10 to reach my goals. That's how I read it.
Perfect. I like it.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
Did anybody have like an aha, like I hadn't really ever put time into thinking about one of these areas and a realization that if you put a little bit more emphasis, it could have dramatic impacts?
I had an aha kind of along the lines of what you're saying. I've been studying this stuff for a long time. And so I didn't really think that I was going to have like this huge epiphany.
Yep.
But in just
Did we lose her?
reality, right?
It cut out there for a second. Say that again.
I said the biggest challenge for me has been reality. And what I'm looking to believe in is something that I haven't seen come to fruition yet, right? Yep. And so I understand everybody's talking about faith and perseverance and continuing to move that way. But I also understand that the way that your brain works is designed to keep you safe. It's always going to come in there and poke holes in all of your really big ideas and belief. To try to say, hey, Keely, you know, you have to be safe. You know, you can't, you know, jump that far because what if this happens? What if that happens? Yep. So even though I know my brain is responsible for doing that, pushing myself past saying, hey, that's moot. That's not a problem. Who cares? It's like very, you know, it's kind of against my my view of what's responsible sometimes. But I know I have to do it anyway. So that's the biggest aha piece for me. It's like there's almost a negativity with it because I'm supposed to be responsible.
I like that. And with a lot of our Tony Robbins work, he talks about our 10,000-year-old brain. Right. And his point in the stories that he tells around that is they're no longer or saber-toothed tigers waiting to eat us when we walk outside the cave. So that fear and that flight mechanism that we have, we utilize it in ways that it wasn't designed for, but it's still there. And so we have to have ways that we trick our brain into saying, no, we're safe. And that's the ultimate thing for a person is if you don't have safety, you aren't going to get much accomplished. So it definitely can paralyze people.
That's an awesome. Thank you.
I love that.
So much.
Colleen, I think, was unmuting there a second ago. You're muted.
Muted? Okay.
There you go.
I was going to say my biggest issue when it comes to belief, it isn't in the products because I believe in them. And that I just struggle on my, like me being a leader and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I also struggle with how can I get people, and I know people are successful in network marketing and I believe in it, but how do I get people to join when I haven't been successful yet?
So let me ask you this. Do you know people that have had success?
Oh yeah, you guys, look at you.
Okay.
Hello.
Are there people that you can help connect other people with, where you're the bridge and not the message itself, but you're the messenger, and connecting other people that have similar situations, and utilize the team a little bit more while you're on your journey of building your own success?
Yeah. I mean, I've been using the app a lot more and then trying to get people like, hey, let's talk to my friend, or let's do this, or I can put you in contact. And it seems like when I do that, it kind of just ends. So I need to figure out how to run that more smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I would really strip it down to the basics. I always remember in sports, like anytime we got off track, it was always going back to the basics because we weren't doing that. So ITT is inviting somebody right to the information, sharing a tool with them, and then turning it over to the team. And so with the app, we've seen a lot of people having success recently with, starting, three-way text instead of just the phone call, three-way messenger through Facebook, things like that. And that is a little bit softer way than, hold on, let me get a three-way call on and let you talk to my friend. So that still works, the three-way phone conversation, but we're seeing more people gravitate towards messenger, text, things like that.
And the groups of Vitality Living, third-party validation, and Level Up as well for business validation. Yep. And I love what Leslie just wrote too. Remember, it's planting seeds, not all sprouting at the same time. So just filling the funnel, and then making it personal to them and loving on them, and just remembering the fortunes and the follow-up. Yep. And just always, I thought about you when you see something that you can tag them on or just quickly message them. It's not immediate. I mean, so many times it's later. So just keep filling the funnel. Thank you. That was so
Great
good.
Questions.
Yes. More questions, comments. This is good. Is this helpful, you guys, listening and talking through different people?
And I promise you, this part is important as you start to go into the further weeks to have these things identified. Yeah. Because once it becomes a conscious area that you're willing to work on, you're going to see these other ones come into fruition where it's helping you advance. And I would use this as a baseline throughout to see the areas that you're going to grow over the next 15 weeks. Doesn't mean that all of these are going to move to a 9 or a 10 by the end, but hopefully several of these areas will increase for you throughout these 15 weeks.
And I think too, and I saw Isa put it earlier in the chat when we were going through this, and what's happened for me as well is having all of this present and, putting it in the binder and looking at it every day is the awareness of everything, right?
She's got it in a binder, and I literally have every page scattered across my desk.
I usually have it scattered, but I'm trying to be more organized. All right, who else has more questions, comments, things that stood out, anything that you wrote down?
I'll go.
Please. Hi, Danny.
Hi, everybody. So good to see everyone. I'm hoping to come to convention if they let me out. Or if they let me back in. I think that's part of the problem.
From Canada. Just from Canada.
I want to say I don't know, things come into our lives exactly when we need them, right? Yeah. And this course is right on par with what I've been working on and what I've been talking with Sean with. What I found when I went through it, I found I scored myself probably lower than I would have in the past. And realizing I'm selling myself short right now. And it was really good going through it and thinking about the different levels, the beliefs that were operational and the leadership. And I found it interesting where the lows were, like in the operational, even in the belief flow, but still the leadership was probably my highest category, which is what I do love. I love connecting people. I love speaking. I love sharing. and that type of thing. But I'm really excited to see how the course goes and scoring higher in a few weeks. You know what I mean? But thank you so much for this. It's really making me think, and that's exactly what I needed, was more structure, where to focus my thoughts. And this breaking it down into these different categories is just bang on. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Danny.
And I believe that it will
Yeah.
go higher over these next couple of weeks. We've
Yes.
had a
I
good
do
week
too.
already. The last week
Yes.
I've seen changes.
Yes. Yes.
Good.
All right. Who
I'll
else?
go
Who else?
You know, Priscilla, hi, thank you.
Hi.
Thank you for making this available. I'm having some, have had a little bit of health issues with my eyes and eye surgeries. So I cannot see very well right now. One lens doesn't have anything on it.
Oh, well, hopefully you can hear us well.
Yeah.
But
But
feel
anyway,
our hearts for you.
the same thing with the belief. I scored quite low in the belief. I thought I was a better believer, but my thinking, SAT, and visualization were low. But my identify and surround top performers and surround myself with them was higher.
Nice.
So that means I'm willing to do what it takes to get there. The same thing as our friend Ava said, on the operational define, gain, and identify was low, but balance and align was better.
Okay.
So it's like the first part I was really low.
Yep.
Since the divorce over 10 years ago, I think I feel myself as a loser, but I know I'm not. But it's like it's fighting the belief that I can do it. And because I have hit the wall of the nose,
yep,
I feel I cannot do it. But I think this course, it's really helped me see it and the questions. And I think I really, besides the teaming up, and then I'm doing the wall,
yep,
the wow with also with the team act,
yep,
being accountable. And then I would like to be accountable 101, with another person, be team up with one person. I'm hoping to go to the convention, but it's on the week of my daughter's wedding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'll go virtually, definitely. I'll be doing virtually. So this time.
Well, thank you for sharing, and hopefully
also some question about the technicality.
Yep.
I was able to post one picture, but I took 3 pictures of 3 different pages, the numbers one,
okay,
and the course goals. But when I went to post, only accept one picture.
I know, in the comment line, unfortunately, it only will do one picture. So just go one after another. It'll go there.
Okay. So there might be 3 posts with 3 different
Perfect.
pictures.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And just listening to what you were saying, especially on that belief lid, I really think this next week on the visualization is going to be an important activity for you to spend a little bit extra time in, and know that you're not alone in this voice that's inside of our head treats us worse than probably we would ever allow anybody else to treat us.
Yeah.
Correct? So you have to start reprogramming yourself by what is the truth and what is not the truth. So when that voice comes in and tells you you're not good enough, or you're not having enough success and all of those things, you've got to replace those thoughts with positive things and gratitude. And over the course of time, you will train your brain to stop having that voice lead the front of the communication inside of your head.
Complete gratitude, all through the day, before you get out of bed in the morning, think of the things that you're grateful for as you're, getting ready for the day, and, all through the day, just try to find, so much gratitude in the smallest things and the big things too. And be curious. How in the world did this desk get made? Like, think of all the people that put together my husband's desk right here, and how that all happened, and how it got, and then just have gratitude for those things. And when we were talking with our leadership group this past, I think it was a week or 2 ago now, and you just reminded me of it. When we're talking about belief and we're going on this journey, you guys, remember to love yourself. remember to just fall in love with yourself. How many of you truly and deeply love you, are obsessed with you? And that sounds a little cheesy, but don't take it as cheesy. You are beautiful. And when's the last time that you, like, you know, for those of you that have kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews, or, you know, you see them sleeping, or you see that, you know, whatever, and you just look at every little, you know, freckle or wrinkle or, you know, eyelash, or, you know, when's the last time that you looked at your eyes? When's the last time that you looked at your hands and really, like, truly looked and just said, wow, that is amazing. You know, look at yourself as your complete self and just fall in love with all of it. The wrinkles, you know, for moms out there that have stretch marks, right? You know, all the scars maybe that you've had from different accidents in life, you know, all the different things. Fall in love and be grateful. And don't forget that through this journey. Maybe write that down. And maybe it sounds a little weird right now, but just remember it, because when you really, really are in love with yourself, I know that might sound a little weird, but you guys, the beauty of loving yourself, you'll be able to pour on that love so much more into the work that you're doing, into this blessing with we've got what we have at Life Vantage, but with your purpose and mission in life.
And with this visualization stuff, and if you guys are doing the boards, keep them in a spot that you're going to see them a lot. Yeah. Because you could do this activity and then put it in a drawer or put it in a closet and it disappears, or you can have it as a constant reminder and a cue of what you're working on, right?
Yeah.
I think that's great counsel. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for sharing with everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Truly, truly. And to you guys, different goals and whatnot. Sometimes it's helpful to not only have things posted in different places, but to even wear something that reminds you of, you know, many times I'll have different bracelets on and I'll touch them and I'll feel them and I know the meaning behind it, or a necklace, just to kind of keep that feeling, that emotion of the goal and what's really, really important to you.
And give yourself grace, right? I was looking through the life work that was posted, and some of the scores honestly surprised me, because I would have given you a higher score than what you were giving yourself. And so remember again that typically we're our own worst critic in some of these areas. So don't beat yourself up from where you are. Let's work towards progressing it to a higher number, and know that there are probably other people that are out here that when you speak these things or think these things to yourself, there's a lot of people that are in disagreement of where you're ranking yourself.
Right. But at the same point, staying true.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, when I go through it too, I'm like, okay, it was good for me, even on the, you know, the low ones of, this is where my focus and my energy, this is where I want to improve on.
Opportunity.
Yep. Opportunity to improve on.
All right.
Right.
We
More. I know we
Yes.
rambled a lot there. Sorry, guys. Let's hear more from more of you. Please, please, please. What a gift.
Any other questions you guys had on some of the wording on the lids?
Love you.
Anybody rank a 10 that they want to celebrate and share with us?
The wins, right? The wins. I say wins is everybody showing up here.
Yep.
Right. Showing up for yourself.
So I'll share. This is Marcy.
Hi, Marcy.
Hi. So I don't know how many of you have done the Clifton Strengths Finder, but I've just done some work in that. And so I have a lot of that. I've got my big plaque and I look at that. And number 3 on my list is belief. And so I'm one of these people that if I really believe in something, it is just like all in, or if I have no belief, it's really hard to change my mind on something. So this was kind of an interesting one because the belief lid was the one I scored the lowest on. And I think it was for technical reasons because I never set goals. I honestly almost feel like I don't even know how to set a goal. I've just never been that way in my life. And so even though in my mind I have just this belief off the chart for these products because of my own personal experience with my family and everything, then I realized there's actually that technical part of it as well that I do need to be following those steps. So that was pretty interesting for me to see that. But are we going to be working on any specific like goal setting projects and stuff like that?
You got it, sister.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go through 3 different areas of your life. There's going to be the personal goals, professional goals, and then financial goals, the PPFs. Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to get very specific in them as well, which is, for me, it has been really, really good, because I'll always know like right where I'm going and what's going to happen. You know, when I came into LifeVantage, you know, I had this, my old boss would be like, what is it? They're like, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to be you know, it was like the details, but now with this, it's getting really specific, and measurable, and, you know, kind of like with your why in life for what your goals are, like peeling back the onion, why? Well, why do I feel this way? Well, how am I going to feel when that gets there? And, you know, kind of going that way. Well, with this, it's continuing to peel the layers back on the specific goals.
And I'm seeing several people say the exact same thing that you just shared, Marcy. And so that isn't an uncommon thing. What I would challenge all of you that are in that boat is to just, you know, go outside of that box for these next 15 weeks to really just set very, very specific, and they call them SMART goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. And we'll go through those again. So don't think that you have to know or remember all of that right now, but I would definitely challenge you to do that. And like Shannon said here, I set goals for running and races, but not in my daily life. And, you know, I would challenge you then to analyze, okay, does setting that in running and races help and improve what you're trying to get towards? And if so, would it be applicable in other areas of your life then too, to start, you know, setting some of those and visualizing what those goals are?
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. That was so good. See, we get so much from each other. So good. All right. Anybody else? We want to hear, let's see.
Let's end it with 2 wins.
2 wins
for the week. Over the past week, who had wins on raising their belief lid or being aware that they were capping themselves and then unscrewing the lid and allowing yourself to increase?
I saw a head nod from Barb. You want to share anything, Barb?
Well, you know, when I do those things like that, I tend to rate myself really high, you know, and everything's 8, 8, 8, 8. But it's like, okay, if it's an 8, so why aren't I progressing the way I should be, right? So there is still something that's holding myself back. And I think it might be the leadership thing too, you know, because I used to say to myself, if I had a party, hardly anybody will come, you know? So it's like, you can't say that. You got to say, everybody wants to come to my party because it's fantastic, right? So I had to really think about it and say, what is it that is holding me back? And well, for one thing, it's like, I really want to quit work, but I can't yet. I really want to do that because then you can really like schedule your time better. And when I do, I mean, there is no, everything just blows up and there's just things happening all the time. So, you know, the biggest thing to me, it's like, okay, I want to work through it. But the thing I know is I totally do believe it's going to happen. I totally believe in the product. I do totally believe I can do it. It's a matter of time. And I will never, 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 ever quit.
Amen. And like Leslie just said, visualize the biggest party ever, right? Sometimes when we do meetings or we have trainings, before they're even there, I'm like, imagine that room filled, imagine all the chairs in there, imagine the lives that are going to be impacted, the stories that are going to come from it, and seeing it done. And then it just, you know, sharing that vision with everybody around you as well to get that done.
Yeah, and there can be time lids as well, where people are always telling themselves they don't have time. There can be monetary lids where people can't even imagine or fathom, you know, $100,000 or 500,000 or $1 million. Well, how tough is it to have the time necessary to build what you want when all day long you're telling yourself, I don't have time? Or how are you going to attain the things that you want if you can't even comprehend or start to dream about what it would be like to attain that kind of money? So I like that.
So here's one thing. It's like, the reason I know I can do it, but it's also building, because you have to, you know, it's not like one day you have 0 and the next day it's 100, right?
Yep.
But in the furniture business, I have won multiple trips. One year I was the top salesperson in the entire country for small markets. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then one trip, they only picked 50 people across the entire country, and I went. So I know I can do it. It's just building and spending the time to do that correctly.
Yes.
I
Amazing
love it.
share.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Amazing win. Okay, Leslie,
I saw
she's
your
raising
hand.
her hand.
No, I was just gonna say I can relate to Barb, because one of the things that I always do to myself is I set a time limit on things, but not in a good way. I always tell my brain that in order to get to XYZ, it's going to take X amount of time. And for me, it always seems like it's an enormous amount of time. And the thing is that with your belief lid and in visualizing, things don't have to take a long time. It just depends on, you know, what you're willing to do to get there. So raising your belief lid can move the needle a lot faster. So knowing that, you know, don't always tell yourself that it has to take a long time, because that's something that I've kept telling myself, and I've been stuck there in that rut for a long time. Lift that lid and move past it.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's close it out with another win from this week of being conscious about belief lids and how it impacted you. And if there's anybody on here that their name is also the name of a former Olympian, maybe you should share. I'm just saying, if there is, maybe you would want to. I don't know.
I'll get on. All right.
Oh, Sean Johnson's on here, everybody.
The joke is you add a foot and add a decade, but I'm not quite a foot and not quite a decade older, but you know. Anyway, you know, I think exactly like what you just said, Sean, is, you know, that I put limitations on myself, like exactly the 2 examples that you said. I don't have enough time, or it's hard to fathom more than X, you know, and that putting those beliefs and, you know, and really getting real with myself. And I've had The Secret on. It's been on repeat. Shannon knows it started when she was here and it hasn't stopped since she left. And really just flipping that thinking and allowing myself that grace and saying, no, I have time, reconstruct it, prioritize. Because I'm watching so many beautiful people here on the Zoom who have kids, who have a husband, who have multiple businesses and stuff, and they're getting crap done. And I go, what is going on over here? So there's a lot of that is my own limiting beliefs that have been holding myself back. So
thank you for sharing. Appreciate you.
Love you.
I love this
So good.
ability for us to come together as a group and as a community to do this. And again, the more that you're pouring into this and the work between the weeks, the more you're going to get out of it. And one of the things, the concepts that I would encourage you to do as well too, is we're going to learn the information, we're going to do it, we're going to put it into work. But then I would challenge you to take the 3rd step of starting to teach other people. So maybe there's some people on your team that are struggling with different areas where you can start to, you know, pinpoint, you know, maybe it's a belief lid that's holding them back, or they're having challenges. But really start to utilize these areas where you're teaching somebody else what you're learning.
Yes, so good. One last thing that Miss Marisa, and then we'll let you guys get going. Marisa, I think, are you there?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, there she is. Is going to share, and it's really, really exciting. She shared it with us today. And I just want to say, Lauren Lahav, who she's going to mention to you in just a second, is a dear friend of mine. And she is the master of masters. Literally, I don't know anybody better on the planet that could teach any of us better about vision boards. She's been doing it for over 25, 30 years. She has them in her bathroom. She's got them all over her house. She doesn't, I mean, it's just the coolest thing. And Marisa has something that she would love to offer to all of you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for all of this, and Leslie and Susie and everybody for sharing your vulnerabilities and just how we can all lift each other up and rise and thrive, right?
Yes.
So I just finished the most powerful women in network marketing coaching and expansion coaching. And one of the coaching sessions was with Lauren Lahav on how to manifest your vision board, like not just putting the dreams up there and what we see, which is very important, but it really getting very specific with who you are. And it really, before she said you put a piece of paper or picture, you need to, she's got a PDF that I'm happy to share, that there's a little homework to it before we do the actual vision board work, if you want to do it that way. And so what I'm going to offer to my team, and I'm going to expand it out to the Pose teams and anyone else who's on here that is our LifeVantage cousin, is play that replay. I have the recording of it, and I'm going to feed it, I think, into One Person Big Difference on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So even if that doesn't work for you, it'll be there and you can watch it when you can. And I'm not, my part of my operational limitations is that I don't feel like I'm good enough when it comes to getting all that technology and the PDFs and all that stuff. I could go through that whole thing right now, and I don't want to do that. So I'll figure it out, or I'll have somebody help me how to get those PDFs to you. And so I need to focus on that. But I promise you guys, I watched this, and part of my operational challenges too are that many things are coming my direction and I'm trying to watch something and I'm not giving it my 100%. So I'm excited to do this and give it my 100% with you all on Wednesday. And you don't have to have your board done on Wednesday. What this is about, it's about seeing how your board is going to be and going through the exercise that she has us go through. It's very powerful. Then you're going to get this clarity about how you want this vision board to look. She mentions that get like a 22 by, a poster board. I have something similar to that that's framed. I like it. It's a framed bulletin board. So whatever speaks to you, but then she laminates hers. So it might be a better way to do it as well. And she's got hundreds and hundreds of them. So I'm really excited for you to see this, and we'll feed it on Wednesday morning to One Person Big Difference. So join live if you can. Somehow these PDFs are going to be posted somewhere.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to download them and try to get that done if you can. And it's okay if you don't, because she does give us some time to work on that and gives you a little more clarity as to what you're, who you are and what do you say to yourself. And those are the things, like she calls herself a badass billionaire, right? And it used to be, a millionaire, and she's like way past that deal. Like her thoughts and her beliefs are incredible. I mean, I have a lot of growing to do.
We all do.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank
And
you.
Lauren is, she went through stuff this past year herself, right? And then this year, she told me, she's like, I'm going for it. There's no reason, I know better than this. She's human. So when people are going through these things and it's really inspiring, just remember they've gone through their own belief lids, right? That they've had to raise through them. They're operational, they're everything. And so, like Sean said earlier, give yourself grace, but also feel the fire in you and pull up the 10X within you, the superwoman, the Superman, because it's in there. It's in there for all of you. And what we talk about sometimes, and I know we went long, and we'll get off here, but don't freeze when stuff comes to this. And we talk about this sometime on our leader stuff, is start dancing and playing around with the things that start coming to you and that make you almost feel like you're going to freeze for a minute. Just start flowing into it, dance with it, and just let it go. Okay. And know that you're here. And right, if things come to you, know that this is going to happen after next week's as well. So write down questions that come, write down aha moments that come, because the more that you share, the more benefit everybody else is going to get out of it. And we just love you guys to pieces. We'll get the details out on Marisa's gift and help to everybody. You know, sometimes it's fun to do vision board parties. We talked about doing that within teams and whatnot. So just start thinking big, have fun. We're going to finish out this month strong, you guys. Okay, so we got this. And then put into the belief of how you're going to finish this month out. Performance Club, 5 for 5, rank stuff, sharing the gift of the Platinum Pack. Again, crazy deal. And just love you to pieces. And post your life work, right, in the guides in section 4. And then the comments will keep coming. And we just love you.
Perfect. Perfect. And
cool.
We know that this is a lot of time that we're asking of you guys right now, but I promise you it will be worth it.
Yes.
And this is like immersion over 15 weeks for this. 15 weeks will go by very fast. 15 weeks will go by in the blink of an eye. So just put your head down, allocate the time necessary to do this. And I promise at the end of it, it will all be worth it.
Keep it in front of you.
Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing, amazing week. Let us know how we can help you close the month out strong and get where you want to get. Appreciate you all sharing as well tonight.
Yes.
And in the One Person Big Difference webpage as well.
All right. Love you guys. Good night.
See ya.
Good night. Mwah.